So feedback for Haley.
I really felt like I wrote down, at the beginning I wrote down sporadic but direct, and then as I started listening to the music more, and as you started to walk forward, I thought of like a fire drill or like an escape route, like an escape routine, like you know what to do, but you're still kind of like freaked out about it type of thing.
Do you think you would have thought that if it
I don't
hadn't been
know.
for the
That's
music?
what
I was wondering. I was like,
I remember thinking that too, that maybe it's just the music, but that's what came across.
Anybody else can have a comment about that in particular? Yeah.
I could actually, in the dancing without listening to music, I could see your panic building, and then it would fall, and then it would build
I
again.
think the music kind of made me panic too. To be honest, I was like, I wasn't prepared for it to be that loud. But yeah.
Anybody else think that the music?
I looked at it like very literal because it's like a tornado siren, like she's freaking out that there's a tornado coming. So that sense of panic, like literally there was a storm coming.
I also felt like in the middle though that there was a moment of complete calmness, even though the music was like crazy.
When was that?
It was, I think it was when you went to the floor part. You go to the
We're
floor.
specific. I go to the floor.
It was right before that little like jump with on all fours.
Oh, okay.
Right
A little
before
crawl
that.
section, kind of.
Yeah, I remember thinking, like, okay, she's calm now. Like
My calm, I thought it was a different moment, was when you stood up, and this was the pivotal, I don't know if it was your centerpiece point or apex, but when you stood downstage close to us, and you just kind of did the repeating heel movement on the diagonal, and you were just you're just looking out, and you didn't have the intensity of focus at that moment, and you didn't have the intensity of task.
Yeah.
Like before, it was always task. It was very clear in its task and its function. But this had an urgency, and panic is the word people are using. But I read it as urgency because what was compelling about the juxtaposition of music was that I think that your dance, although it was hurried, it was doing so in a way that's very familiar to you. Like this happens all the time, and you just almost like Pavlov's dog. You know, when you get triggered by something and you just go into it, but there wasn't a whole lot of emotional content to that.
Okay.
So when you stood up and you were facing on that downstage diagonal, and you just did the repeating little, I had the sensation that you were just letting it wash over you, and we're going to ignore it. And that was the pivotal point for me.
That's kind of why I played with that music in particular, because I don't know if you guys remember the one day we had a fire drill here, and I was like, oh, that noise is really, really annoying, but why is it freaking me out? I know it's just like a practice. And I thought of that, and I'm like, well, if I do this kind of noise that I think is terrifying when I hear it like around my house at home, like when things like that go off, like you hear the sirens, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So I kind of played with that and like how it makes me feel as like a person when it happens, and then like how if it goes off too often, I'm just like, okay, this is really annoying. Like, or like the calm you have to have, even though something else is happening. Like stay calm, stay calm. Kind of like with what you're talking about with the Richard Bowe improvisation. Like stay calm, otherwise like you will
Hurt something, yeah.
get hurt. You know.
Yep.
I had put down, because the music kind of triggered this story for me. I felt like something was happening to you. Almost like the story I put was just like you were in a group of protesters and the crowd got rowdy and it got out of control, so you were being trampled in the crowd and things were, you're getting pushed around, you were kind of taken back like, whoa, what is going on? That's, I don't know, it kind of created a story of the music and as well as how you reacted to the music.
Title that stood out to me from you was Undefined
Undefined what?
Force.
Force?
Yeah.
Undefined force? I kept thinking of Hurricane Sandy.
I'm sorry, guys.
And I kept thinking of all my friends in New York who were going around and buying water and canned soup, candles, batteries. And it was like, do this thing, here it comes. Okay, here it is,
And it kind of like humbles you as a person in that sense. Like, you know what? I am smaller than I think, and things can really kill me. Like, you're not careful about it, you know what I mean? Like, oh, hurricane's not gonna hurt me, and then, oh, you're dead, you know?
I appreciated this time with your editing, the intensity you gave the movement, the dynamic range and the focal press that you gave it this time. It made the movement pop out for me in almost like a three-dimensional Tetris. So that's my title, three-dimensional Tetris. Titles?
Sorry, what's a Tetris?
You guys know the video game Tetris?
I'm really old-fashioned.
That's
It's
okay.
like
And then to fit the cubes together, and they go down. And
Oh, I know what that is.
Falling cubes, and you have to organize them. It's sort of things are raining on you, and you have to organize. You have to order shape. You have to order the shapes as they're coming down on you. So it's this geometric puzzle.
I put Lost Defense.
Say it again.
Lost Defense, because I thought she kind of was having like an internal battle with herself, and she was like hacking to her.
Yep, that's what Quintress said. Yeah.
It's like that kind of.
What else? What else? Who is this person? We've kind of touched upon that. They're in Hurricane. They're in a Dorothy. Dorothy. Oh my God, you're the postmodern Dorothy. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could play, you know, the soundtrack for the Wizard of Oz. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's kind of interesting to think about, like theatrically, how
Do you
you.
think the sound was distracting, or?
No.
I really enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah. When the music, like, it's gonna sound weird, but when the music first came on, I thought of Beyonce.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I was
What?
thinking, 'cause, like, in the beginning of like rap songs, they have sirens going off sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
She got a song that's called Ring Your Alarm, and I was like, and then like, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I like the repetitive sound. I
Yeah.
think I would have liked it more if I would have found a longer link of just the siren.
Or just Beyonce.
Most of the time, it was people like, oh, look at the storm coming.
Was anybody else? Was it distracting?
I felt like she was in between sanity and insanity.
Yeah.
Then you had your moments where you would be sporadic and all over the place, like you were borderline historical or hysterical. And then you slowed it down and it became more smooth, and that's when you reclaimed your senses back. That's what it looked like. So it was a mixture of the two. So I was like, is she insane or is she sane? I couldn't put my finger on it, but I'm like, okay, well, let's just go with a mixture of the two.
I just say insane, crazy.
I think it was too detailed and organized and meticulous to be insane. I think there was too much order, but I get where that feeling comes from. I totally agree with you in that
And
way.
maybe she was insane. Like she wasn't insane, but she was.
She used to be, you mean?
Well, no, like that is what insane is, but she's not actually like an insane person. She's like insanity.
She's living, it's like if you could put it on for a minute.
Yeah.
I wore the costume of
Got
the
it.
scene.
She's like defining.
Yes.
I don't know. I disagree, but that's okay. It's just me. I think everybody else agrees with you. Yeah, Emma.
That reminds me of Shutter Island, where there is a storm, and then all the crazy people get out of their cells,
Okay.
like escaping. sort of thing.
Okay, I want to just pull it a little bit back into composition now and a little bit away from our interpretations. It's good. We're having, and let me just point out, we're calling it music, which is cool. Just saying, John Cage would be, he's like, yeah, right now, and is turning over in his grave, that we're calling that music. But it is overwhelming, and it does drive how we read the content of the piece.
Exactly.
It absolutely is heavy-handed to use a siren. However, the duration and you're allowing it to just repeat itself,
Yeah.
it dies down in its value. And so it becomes more like a wash. We get used to it, we get a little more comfortable, and we kind of can see a little bit more ironic use when you just let it go and go and go and go.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay.
I think
So
it is overwhelming, but you kept it going in such a way, and you kept to your task in such a way that it shifted what it was.
Okay.
It no longer was a tornado.
Good. That's not what I wanted
Warning.
it to be. Like, I didn't want it to be like tornadoes coming.
No,
It's more the sense of the siren and what it does.
what it ended up for me, and you guys can knock or not, it ended up being about disregarding something.
Okay.
Giving, like, playing with us a little bit, and it was like the theatrical device that brought us in and then made us look a little deeper. We good? Yay, Haley, good. Now we have to clap for everybody, okay? It's only fair. We're gonna clap. We're not gonna usually clap, but since we're doing it today, you know. Okay. I just hate to be, that's why I don't like